Ever wondered what Leonardo DaVinci, Albert Einstein, Mark Twain, Thomas Edison, and Marie Currie all have in common? And no, it's not the Nobel Prize. They all kept journals. I thought to myself, was it just a cosmic coincidence that all these great people happened to keep journals, or was it something about journaling that made them so great? Now, this kind of question actually poses two significant problems. The first is I cannot go back in time to ask them directly, and the second problem is that I cannot really conjure up their spirits.
I summon you, spirit of Albert Einstein.
Nah, nothing. So I did the next best thing. I journaled for 58 days. Honestly, I felt like I was wasting my time until I wasn't. One of the major changes that I experienced was that my clarity in some really important aspects of life literally jumped from 30 to like 90 during this period, because when you are in the process of writing, you are quite literally in the process of thinking. And what's so special about writing what you're thinking is that it forces you to be specific on a particular line of thoughts. Now, if you just leave it in your head, you can easily jump from one thought process to another process. I mean, when everything is in your head, everything is not exactly organized. But when you are seeing your thoughts on paper, it actually forces you down a particular line of thoughts, and then you actually see it through, which actually gives you a form of clarity that you may not really be able to attain otherwise. I became less anxious. Now, why did this happen? Because when you are writing down things that are really bothering you, the process of writing it down, you actually get to see it for what it really is. The initial ambiguity that gave it its monstrous effect begins to wear off because you are seeing it for what it really is. And that sense of anxiety, oh my god, like how this issue, like if this is the year, oh my god. When you're in the process of actually writing down the exact issue and break it down to its minutest form, it may not really be as big of a problem as you might actually think it to be. And another huge benefit that I got from journaling was an increased level of self-awareness. Now, when you know that you are actually going to write about how you feel, it actually forces you to be more aware of the things that happen to you in the moment. It's almost like you are attending a class, but the moment the teacher says, after this class, you are going to have a test, I mean, your level of attention during that class automatically spikes up from like 0 to 100, because you know that you're actually going to be tested on how well you have actually paid attention in that class. Now, with starting anything new, I knew that it was going to be a bit difficult. Like with anything you want to start and sustain, I decided to point out 3 major bottlenecks that if I made as frictionless as possible, I might actually succeed in keeping this habit. And these pressure points were, first of all, a tracker. Now, according to Peter Drucker, what you cannot measure, you cannot control. And I needed a way to measure my progress if I actually stood any chance in having a similitude of control over this habit. The next bottleneck was a forcing system. I'm going to go over what a forcing system actually is later. And the third bottleneck was, where the hell was I going to do the journaling? Now, given the fact that we live in the world of technology, and quite literally almost anything that you want to do has an app for it, and I kid you not, there's actually an app that can actually help you to create funny sounds while you're making a call, so you can actually hang up the call and create an excuse that it was a network problem. And the name of this app is actually Fake an Excuse app. So now back to what I was saying. I knew that I needed help from technology, and so I decided to pick out 3 apps to help me with this pressure points in the process. Now, the first app that I used for my tracker was the Grow app. Now, this app is really cool because any single habit that you want to start, you actually have the opportunity to track how you're progressing in that habit. And if you see yourself failing or you're missing a day, it shows you visually by representing your progress using a tree. Another bottleneck was my forcing system. Now, my forcing system is basically something that tells me to do what I need to do when I need to do it. And the best app that I thought of that could help me do that was my alarm. Now, I set this alarm at a particular time every day by 6 p.m. when I'm usually less busy. So anytime that alarm rings, anything that I'm doing, just drop it for 10 minutes and journal whatever is in my head at that moment in time. Normally, I would use a pen and a sheet of paper, but given the fact that, I mean, I could be anywhere at any point in time, and I could only think of one device that follows me anywhere I am at any point in time, which was my mobile phone. So I decided to use an app called the Notion app, which allows me to create a daily entry where I can easily impute my thoughts for that day. The big question: would I continue journaling after this 58 days? And the answer is yes. I'm sure there are a lot more benefits that I'm even yet to experience, because compared to Leonardo da Vinci and Albert Einstein, I mean, I'm still relatively quite young. 58 days is still, I mean, it's basically nothing compared to like the number of years that this guys have been journaling. So I'm 100% sure that there's some benefits that I have not even unlocked yet. And if you're watching this video right now, I will 100% recommend that you start doing a daily journaling practice. It's going to honestly improve your life. And guys, if you like this video, I think you're going to enjoy a video about how you can make your good habits stick. Remember to always keep it real.